Post Malone has finally opened up again about one of the most private and emotional parts of his life, his 3-year-old daughter. For a star who has built his empire on music, tattoos, and a wild rock star persona, this latest glimpse into his life as a father is both surprising and incredibly touching. Fans have long speculated about his daughter, her life, and his role as a dad, but now, Posty himself is giving us a rare update, and it's nothing short of heart-melting. He describes life with his little girl as a constant mix of chaos and beauty. In his own words, kids are little shts and they're beautiful at the same time. That brutally honest yet affectionate confession captures exactly how he feels about fatherhood: messy, unpredictable, but also the most rewarding thing he's ever experienced. He admits he doesn't always know what he's doing, but then again, who really does? His daughter is figuring out life just as much as he is figuring out being a dad, and together they're learning every single day. One of the most vivid pictures Post painted was of a moment inside his Utah home, which is still under renovation. He describes this massive hallway where his daughter rides her little toy horse back and forth, laughing uncontrollably. He says she giggles the whole f***ing time, and that it's the most beautiful thing he has ever experienced in his life. Imagine the superstar who has performed for sold-out arenas around the globe saying that the highlight of his life is watching his toddler ride a toy horse down a hallway. That's the kind of perspective fatherhood has given him. Post Malone didn't stop there. He couldn't hold back when talking about his daughter's personality. According to him, she's hilarious, full of energy, quirks, and charm. He called her the most beautiful creature to ever have existed on this earth, and you could hear in his voice just how deeply he meant it. He even admitted he feels like he doesn't deserve something so special in his life, but he's grateful every single day that she's here. That raw humility is what makes fans love Post even more. Beneath the tattoos, the fame, and the hits, there's a guy who is just blown away by the joy of being a dad. Now, let's rewind a little for those who may not know the full story. Post Malone secretly welcomed his daughter back in May 2022 with his then-fiancée, Hee-sung Jamie Park. At the time, he kept everything extremely private, no baby photos, no social media announcements, just a quiet confirmation that he had become a dad. Post is fiercely protective of his daughter's privacy, and even now, 3 years later, he still hasn't shared her face publicly. Fans only know her by the initials DDP, a nickname that Post occasionally uses when talking about her. But behind the scenes, things haven't been entirely picture-perfect. In late 2024, Post's engagement to Jamie Park came to an end, and by early 2025, custody battles began making headlines. Both Post and Jamie filed for custody, she in California and he in Utah. For a while, it seemed like things were going to get messy, but Post recently scored a major legal victory when Jamie dropped her California filing, effectively moving the case back to Utah. That was a huge win for him, not only emotionally but financially, since California is known for its much higher child support expectations. Rumors have even surfaced that the two may have quietly reached a private custody agreement, though nothing has been confirmed. Even with all the legal drama, Post has never wavered when it comes to praising Jamie as a mother. He's called her the #1 mom in the F-King universe and makes it clear that, despite their differences, he respects her role in their daughter's life. That's a rare level of maturity in the often brutal world of celebrity breakups. Of course, Post Malone is still very much the global superstar we know. He's been reinventing himself musically, leaning more into country while still holding on to his rap and pop roots. But what's different now is how his daughter influences everything he does. For example, he recently shared that she's developed her own taste in music. She's a big fan of George Strait, proving she might have inherited her dad's love for country. And like every other toddler, she's obsessed with Paw Patrol, with Pup Pup Boogie being one of her absolute favorite songs. Post laughs about how she already has strong opinions, joking that she's become his harshest critic. The shift in Post's lifestyle since becoming a dad has also been dramatic. He's admitted to slowing down, cutting back on drinking, and trying to live healthier, not just for himself, but for her. He's conscious of the fact that being a present and healthy father is more important than living the fast-paced rock star life he used to embrace. That doesn't mean he's completely changed who he is, but it does mean his priorities have shifted, and his fans are noticing. One of the most emotional public moments came during a New York concert in June 2025. Post surprised fans by dedicating his song Yours to his daughter, saying it was inspired by the idea of her one day walking down the aisle. He even asked fans to sing it with him for her. The crowd went wild, And it was one of those rare moments when the artist and the audience shared something deeply personal. For Post, that dedication wasn't just about music, it was about immortalizing his love for his daughter in a song she can carry with her forever. What makes all of this even more fascinating is how Post balances his very public career with such a fiercely private personal life. In an industry where most celebrity kids are photographed and paraded around social media from birth, Post has gone to great lengths to shield his daughter from the spotlight. There are no staged family shoots, no paparazzi-fed leaks. He's drawn a hard line when it comes to her privacy, and his fans respect that. Still, every time he does open up, like in this recent update, fans can't get enough. Social media lit up with reactions. Many praised him for being such a devoted father despite his grueling schedule. Others pointed out how refreshing it is to hear a celebrity speak so honestly about the ups and downs of parenting. For every fan who loves his music, there's another who now loves him even more for showing this side of himself. And it's worth remembering, Post Malone is only 30 years old. He's already achieved massive success in music, he's transitioning into new genres, and he's also navigating one of the toughest challenges anyone can face, co-parenting under the public eye. Yet through it all, his daughter remains his #1 priority. His words make it clear, no matter how many records he sells or how many shows he plays, nothing will ever compare to hearing his little girl laugh. In the end, that's what this rare update shows us. Behind the fame, behind the headlines, behind the court battles, there's just a dad who is completely smitten with his daughter. And when he says, "It's badass to be a dad," it's not a throwaway line, it's the most honest and heartfelt truth about where he is in life right now. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.